righty. Looks like we're live. Can you guys hear me? Microphone check 1, 2. Testing. I mean, you're never ready to go live. Sometimes you just got to hit the button. Nana, what's up? Mills, welcome in. Good to see you. Jody Lynn, what's up? How you doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Well, hopefully you can. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. We will be diving back into Abby and Libby's case, also known as the Delphi murders. It's going to be part 2 of Belly of the Beast. Just a quick disclaimer. This is just for educational purposes. You know, we're taking facts from Abby and Libby's case, and we're coming up with hypotheticals and a shit ton of speculation. And we're just creating theories, right? We're not trying to accuse anybody, and we don't have a lot of proof to back up these claims. So once again, this is just for educational purposes. Barb, what is up? Can we get a sound check? Sound check, please. So hopefully you can hear me. All right. Thank you so much. Jody says good. Loud and clear. All right. All right, guys. So basically what I'm going to do is I have 2 sheets of notes here. We're going to go through. I'm going to read right through them right at the beginning. Boom. That's going to serve as an overview for today's live stream. Then after that, it's going to be a checklist. And it kind of has all of the information for the content that I want to show you guys. What's up, Ricky Smith? Starting to make you feel crazy? Miss Dog Lover, welcome in. Phil Bond, welcome in. All right, let's get started.
Big brother trying to mess with my head. He whispers sweet nothing, things better left unsaid.
Phil Bond.
We got our ears to the ground, our eyes wide open and keen.
Oh, is that you, Red? Wow, see, I called it. Oh, before I saw that.
She don't play no games.
Yeah, I was like, dude, looks familiar. Landscape. Welcome. That's good.
loud.
You should be happy
Propaganda
about
trying to
that.
twist up the truth.
Some people work very
They
hard at
feeding
that.
us lies from our childhood youth.
It's good to be the underdog.
He leading the way with a flashlight bright, exposing the darkness and bringing the light. Through intuition, he got that vision. No ad hominem allowed, just facts shouted loud. Through intuition, he got
Hattie,
that
good evening.
vision. No ad hominem allowed, just facts shouted loud. They try to divide us with their silly schemes. Break up our squad, break up all of our dreams. But we stick together.
She hooked it up. She called it the Sleuth's Anthem. Sleuth Crew Anthem.
Coming for you.
You. Yeah, 48 hours is pretty good. That's my go-to. I like 48 hours, and then I also like the first 48 as well, not to be confused. But yeah, if you were wondering, Cheeks hooked that up. That shit is catchy, huh? Thank you, Cheeks. What up, everybody? Welcome back, Redfoot. Fishy, what's up? Yes, I made it, and beginning instead of the end. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Did you see you're one of my top channels? Yeah, I did blush a little bit. I appreciate that. I didn't want to get all up in there and make a thing, but you know I got your back. Miss Dog Lover. All right, guys, I have some notes here. Let me just go right through them. All right, once again, just educational purposes here. All right. Before the murders, the McCain brothers seemed to be shaping Delphi in their own image. The town their parents once called home, the place where Dan and Dave ran through the fields as children. Some people whispered that a few men hold more influence than most realize. Who has the power to mold a town? The McCain brothers. And then also I'm going to show you guys 2008 Delphi compared to once they built the freeway and threw up the Freedom Bridge. And I'll show you exactly how much power they have to basically mold a town into their image and how much it did change. What up, Frederica? Don't mind that. Mills, what's up? Okay, let's continue on. Okay, some unanswered questions. Why was a box cutter overlooked during Ron's situation, but suddenly treated differently with Rick? I'll give you my answer, but go ahead and let me know. Title it Ron's box cutter versus Rick's box cutter, and then give me your reason. Why was Ron Logan outside cleaning around noon? Expecting company, perhaps? Had he just spent nearly $100 on fish because he wanted his property to appear prepared for visitors? So that's just more of a follow-up on the question. Boston, good to see you. Merry Christmas. Okay. Reese Davis claims that Kagan Klein and his father TK were operating an underground CSAM business on an old classified site. They allegedly sold burner phones loaded with catfish profiles and illicit material. Both Richard Allen and Ron Logan become their customers. Right? According to Reese Davis, if what he's saying is true and you guys believe him and he's not being lied to, this would be connecting the Kleins, Rick, and Ron. Right? In this scenario, I would probably refer to them as the four expendables. And boy, were they, right? They were spent all right. I mean, think about it. Kagan Klein is doing life, basically, right? Anything over 40 years is life for him. I think his father had his foot amputated, almost got killed in a hurricane. It might be back home with mom. I don't know. But remember, we know that they're connected, the Kleins and Tony, or excuse me, the Kleins and Rick, right? Not only through Chrysler, but the location of the CVS, them living in the same neighborhood, and then going to the same schools. And if you believe Reese Davis, they're connected through Ron Logan and Richard Allen are connected for the same reasons, customers of the Kleins. Okay, and above them all looms the beast. So let's put this back up. We have the four expendables who were spent. They were thrown away. Ron Logan's dead. They claimed it was COVID. Richard Allen's doing 130 years in prison. Not one real word, right? No official statement from him. No exclusive interview with some Barbara McDonald. Nothing. He's been neutralized. So those two have been silenced. And Kagan Klein, the guy who actually officially confessed and is rumored to be given a hotel room with a woman. In return for what? Probably his silence. Boom, you're neutralized. Judge is in on it. Boom, 45, 40, whatever, 46 years. That's not justice. You can't use information from another case and then punish somebody because of it. You know what I mean? That's just more of the beast. So that's the beast that we're talking about. So above them all looms the beast. Not a creature, but a network. A collection of men operating on the same wavelength, under their own rules. Protected by the dome of small town immunity that even federal eyes can't fully penetrate. Did you guys ever see that image of Michael Peasley? And he's standing next to the core group of investigators from Holman all the way down. And they kind of formed a circle where they're touching shoulder to shoulder, facing inward. And just outside of that circle is Michael Peasley, a member of Grit. You know, he's done it all. He's done murder investigations. He was part SWAT. And we always thought it was the FBI that were the bad guys because they don't have a good record there in Indiana, right? With the Olympics and all of that stuff. Abbott, they don't have a good track record. So I didn't trust them. I still don't trust them. But in this case, right, even the beast is immune to them, keeps them outside. So we're going to kind of focus in on that for a little bit. So not a creature, but a network, a collection of men operating on the same wavelength, under their own rules, protected by the dome of small town immunity, and even federal eyes can't fully penetrate. The beast uses people, it consumes them. 4 men are recruited, used up, and discarded, while the beast grows stronger. The Kleins are linked to Richard Allen through Peru, the school system, and overlapping workplaces, right? CVS right around the corner from the Canal Klein home, and then possibly Richard Allen working with TK at Chrysler, not to mention them living in the same neighborhood, only being one grade apart, and then also proof through Kathy's, I think her deposition, sorry. She said that she went to both schools, right? They bounced. She went to Miami and then Peru, Miami and Peru. So that would make her like a sophomore when Tony was a senior. And my sources tell me that that's how Richard Allen is connected originally. Is it's not him, but it's Kathy that knows Tony Klein originally. Okay, Reese may or may not have been lied to, or may have seen a truth buried beneath half truths, right? Richard Allen works alongside the McCains, tearing down the shack, connecting their paths. The Beast recruits Ron Logan and Richard Allen. Ron and Richard recruit the Kleins. The Kleins help lure victims and create more illicit content, which is then trafficked or laundered through unnamed channels, maybe even places like Las Vegas. Richard once told Walla he suffered from a sex addiction. No evidence supported that. But burner phones are a great way to hide those kind of secrets, right? Who or what is the Beast? How did the Kleins, Richard Allen, and Ron Logan end up inside the belly of this beast? The answer points back to the McCain brothers and others like them, men who move in the shadows and reshape the town to their benefit. And with that, the unanswered question echoes again. Why was the box cutter ignored for Ron, but weaponized against Rick? The Beast uses what it needs when it's needed. The Beast with many heads looked down on Abby and Libby as disposable. So if they're disposable, that makes me disposable. They weren't disposable, and neither are we. All right, let's catch up on this. So now we're going to use it as a checklist. Remember, this is all just for educational purposes. Aw, snap. Wife Lilith, thank you so much. Kleins have dirty hands. Yeah, a lot of people kind of forget the work that you did there. Very interesting. I wonder if the whole story will ever be told about that. It's kind of been forgotten. He needs to have a new trial. Richard Allen? No, because he's not going to say anything, right? If he was going to take a plea, he would have taken a plea. For whatever reason, he's motivated not to talk. And that feeds into this hypothetical here today. Yeah, thank you so much, Lilith. Very generous. I'm going to hit you. Got money bags over here. Thank you so much. Don, what's up? How you been doing, man? You staying busy? I'm not sure they would have known it was a box cutter that early in the case, or would they? Well, yeah, we're going to get to that. That's a big part. I actually made you guys a video for that. We're going to talk a lot about the box cutter today. All right, let's start with this. Before the murders, the McCain brothers seemed to be shaping Delphi in their own image. The town their parents once called home, the place where Dan and Dave ran through the fields as children. Remember, we have that interview and that article where Dave talks about as a child he would run across the bridge. Right? Interesting that he would move to Albuquerque and then back and kind of join up with Dan. Kind of take over where their mother left off with the Erie Canal and all that stuff. But yeah, they're big movers and shakers for sure. Okay, so let's look at how much the area around the eventual crime scene changed under their watch. So this was very interesting. Check this out. And I could pull up Google Maps, but it's just going to kind of slow everything down. So I took a photo, screenshot, better yet. Okay, so right here, basically, there is no highway right there. This is the old State Road 25. The Hoosier Heartland hasn't even been built through here yet. So they're barely starting to plan it. This is about 2008. But what you're looking at is the DCS welfare building. Look at how the road and the parking lot used to be. Like, this is what it used to look like. Here's another view. You can kind of see the water tower. So right here, soon will be a freeway just ripping right through the middle. And there's the CPS building. So, man, has this place changed? And if they're going to destroy all of this, right? This is gone. No, that's a highway. That's the Hoosier Heartland, I believe is what it's referred to. Hoosier Heartland Highway. That's gone. Whatever this was is completely gone. Behind that, the water tower is still there, of course. So why the hell did they leave this? Is it because it's a government building, perhaps? It's like, don't tear that down. We're going to use that later. Because they had plans. Check this out. These are old 2008 plans from Dan McCain. Okay, check that shit out. And the way he kind of has it drawn up is like railroads. Like kind of like the way it probably was when his mom lived there. Or was like when they were probably not even born yet. So their heritage goes way back to the 1800s. You know, and this kind of stuff is like passed on. And what's crazy is apparently the highway was a railroad at one point. And then you can see here he has it drawn up to have some kind of old trestle kind of placed over the top. And then it says down here at the bottom, when the Hoosier Heartland Highway is completed, it is hoped that a 300-foot long historic iron bridge may be installed to carry hikers along the Monon High Bridge Trail over the road. Right? Let me just go ahead and put a fucking bridge over the highway. Right? Hey guys, you know what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm going to go fucking put a bridge over the highway. I wonder how that's going to go over. Yeah, I'm going to have them go find an old bridge, you know, check it out. And then I'm going to tell them to fucking move it over here to the highway of my choosing. What do you mean there's no embankment there? I'll fucking put one. So as you can see, 300 North right here. Ooh, wife, thank you so much. Very generous of you. I really appreciate that. What are we talking about, Frederica? I didn't say anything. What'd you say? Did you see something? I don't know. I think Boston gets it. Just ask her. Refer all of those types of questions to Boston. She seems to know what the hell's going on a little bit better than some. No offense. No offense. No offense. All right, we got a tunnel over here. We got the Freedom Bridge all the way back in 2008. This is all being imagined. So where does that put the CPS building? That puts it right here. I don't see it on their plans. A lot of bad shit could have gone on in that building. Yeah, that's definitely part of the beast, Mills. That's the majority of the beast. People similar to that, right? On the same frequency, the same wavelength. All motivated not a lot of it has to do with history. You can't create this kind of small town ecosystem that is basically impenetrable by even federal agencies, right? They kicked the FBI out of the most high profile case. Two of them, really. I'm glad to see the FBI working on the Florida fires. That really made me happy. But they need to do something about it. Or is it just going to get worse? Is it just more of the beast? So it kind of makes you wonder. You're telling me they had to destroy all of those other businesses so that they can make way for this highway. But we're going to go ahead and leave the CPS building right here. And guess who immediately tried to acquire this building? A joint effort by the McClellands and the McCains working together. I even think Nick was their attorney with all of this. Nick or his mom. Now they have history. Lots of history back to the 1800s. Some crazy shit. So it's important that we understand who has the power to mold things. Who has the power to hide a disgusting person like Kagan Klein? Right? Who would ever in their right mind allow him to go free after finding what they found? Like in what world? Well, they were protecting him. The beast had to protect him until they couldn't anymore. Well, what about Ron Logan? Well, they protected him until they couldn't anymore. What about Richard Allen? Well, they protected him as well until they couldn't anymore. The beast is going to use whatever it needs when they need it. So in 2008, this is what the CPS building looked like. This is what this entire area looked like. I don't know what this is. It looks like a bunch of storage units or something. And this might be like a depot, a farming depot or some shit. Now, this is what it looks like now, right? This huge highway ripping through the middle. That business was right here. This one is right where the bridge is now. Right there. Actually behind it, like over here. So for whatever reason, they tore everything else down. And they just kind of left this building right here, right next to the highway. Remember, this used to be a parking lot right here where this car is, and a road that went across right there. So you know what? I'm just going to put a fucking old trestle bridge right here, right where I used to hang out. That used to be my family's farm right there. I fucking run shit around here. Don't you need permission? No. Oh, they're going to do it. Because if they don't do it, I'm not going to do this for them. It's been a long day. Actually, it kind of has been a long day. I went out. I'm building my wife like a cabinet that goes over a mini fridge, because we just had a baby and she's, you know, doing her thing. She needs to keep it like in the freezer, but she also has it like filled with snacks. And I'm going to build her like a cabinet that goes over the top of it. And then on the side, it'll have some shelves built in. And I'm going to give that to her for Christmas. So I was at Home Depot getting all that shit together. I went by the dispensary. Went and got my warranty done for my mattress because it didn't hold up through the pregnancy. We always kind of had it lifted up. And whatever that did fucked with the springs in it. But yeah, we went out. We're going to pick out a new bed. But apparently the guy told us it's better to come back, on Saturday. They're having some big sale. Get more bang for our buck. So that's what we're going to do. And then we had lunch at Applebee's. And the little guy was fucking cool as a cucumber. I mean, that dude's calmer than me. Calmer you are. Calmer you. Local law enforcement and another 3-letter agencies mix like oil and water, don't really get along so much. Yeah, juris my diction crap, right? We'll show you how it's done. Or, it's probably my friends who have their hands in this, and let me keep your eyes away. We're doing great, Frederica. Doing wonderful. What? That would break my heart. Because I get this craving. It's a fajita roll-up, chicken fajita roll-up. And the way they make it, if you put some Tabasco sauce on it, ooh, it's fire. That's my shit. So it's crazy, right? How they have the power just to kind of imagine Delphi in this image of them, something that they probably their mother had imagined it or talked about. Right? This used to be their farm. The Mears and the McCains. Ron's property, I believe, used to be the McCains. And then where the shack is down the 505, that also used to belong to the McCain farm before it turned into the Girard Preserve. And Richard Allen actually helped the McCains tear down the old corn crib that he called the shack on the old McCain farm. So they are connected. And McCain, Dave was there the day it happened. Nobody really talks about that. Let's see here. So we got the old photos. And then the question, why leave the CPS building? And this, not only did they leave it, but the entire time after the highway was built, and this was kind of what they refer to as abandoned, they were trying to acquire it. It was the McCains and the McClellands working together to acquire the CPS building. Imagine what could have gone on there. I mean, if you're going to be conducting some kind of weird, shadowy shit, or trying to take these girls I think they may have wanted to take them to the CPS building. Honestly. Maybe they did a lot of fucked up shit there. We know that it wasn't locked up or boarded up or anything. So that's interesting. So they leave the CPS building, and the McClellans and McCains tried to acquire it. Okay, why was the box cutter overlooked during Ron's situation, but suddenly treated differently with Rick. Let me see if I have the original Reese letter. I forgot to show that one to you guys. Okay, this is my best attempt to translate his fucking cursive. I don't know why he writes in cursive. Who told him that? Who told him to do that? All right, so this was dated August 21st, 2017. So this is early on. This is information that nobody should know. Absolutely nobody. Right? And then you have people like Fishy who say that Dr. Core probably knew exactly or is lying, right? How do you just have an epiphany one day like, oh, that could be a box cutter, right? The beast uses information when he wants to. When it needs it, it'll use it. When it doesn't, it'll hide it and act like it doesn't matter, use lawyer tricks to basically in real time manipulate perception. Right. So they didn't use this information when it mattered, when they were trying to arrest Ron Logan. They didn't want Ron Logan to be arrested because that would have led back to the beast. They were trying to protect Ron Logan. But here comes Robertson, like, all right, I'll write the fucking search warrant. If you're not going to do it, I'll write it up. I'll stake my name on it. Right. So they delayed that, protecting Ron until they couldn't protect him anymore. And then they had to throw him to the wolves, just like they did with Kagan Klein. They tried to protect him. No arrest. And then once he moved back like a dumbass. Sleuth, you did a short video a while back on the Flora arson. Your theory about the neighbor guy was very good. Yeah, Adam Ayers. I tipped him into the FBI and they called me. I spoke with them for an entire hour. I was very pleased. Even if it doesn't lead to anything, I just love the fact that they called me and that they actually, took a little bit of time. I just wanted to know, it was all factual information that I gave them. It's in the police report, all the stuff, and the reason why I believe what I believe. And not only that, they already have the guy in custody, so just go and fucking go interview him. Not only that, go interview the people that were with him that night. Things change. All right. So Reese Davis sends this letter in after talking with Ron Logan. This is what it says. Mr. Logan has spoke referring to the killings in Delphi, Indiana. He told me he was the one that killed those girls, that it got out of hand. He walked with them in the woods to his property. The girls wanted to leave back and said something about calling the police. He grabbed the youngest girl to reassure her it was okay. However, they panicked, and this is how he spelled it, paniced. He kind of spelled it kind of funny. He indicated he ended up cutting the oldest, and then he wrote like a W/A with a box cutter and went on telling me that he killed both of them because it was took too far. Okay, so this is Ron Logan talking to Reese Davis while they're locked up together. Later on, he's locked up with Kagan Klein. But here he mentions a box cutter. How could he possibly know about the box cutter? Let's see. Did I lose that? Damn it. Here, maybe I can find it. So I had a Hammer and Nigel interview where they actually interviewed Dr. Core. So let me see if I can find it. I thought I grabbed it. I'm sorry. Let's see, MP4. Is that it? Maybe this one. No, this isn't it. Hopefully I didn't lose it. Okay, open the file. Oh, there it is. It's in my carotid artery file. That's kind of where I wanted to go next anyway. Okay, let's watch this. This is Hammer and Nigel with Roland Court, Dr. Roland Court. Carotid artery file. Yeah, you want to see it? Here, I'll open it up for you. So this is kind of like the research I did after finding out about the box cutter and how they described it in the testimony. And this, she was saying, how could the pathologist this just all of a sudden have like an epiphany moment? But this is how he described it on the stand here. Cuts that were just about 1 inch deep, and that's exactly what a box cutter is, 1 inch. But it had unusual markings on the edging, which caused it to kind of look serrated, but it wasn't. Right? So he was confused. He's like, this is not a serrated blade. Like, what's going on here? We got these shallow cuts, and we got this bruising on the outside edging that appears to be like from the butt of a knife. But it can't be a knife, because if it was a knife, the cut would be deeper. So some people are saying, well, why wouldn't he have thought of a box cutter right away? Like, it's a shallow cut. Like, obviously, it's a box cutter. Right? So maybe he did. Maybe he did, and it matched up with what Reese Davis was saying about Ron Logan, but they ignored it. The B said, no, we don't need that right now. We need to protect Ron Logan. You know, we already searched his home. We don't need to search it again. Well, the FBI saying, well, no, we need to serve a real search warrant. We need to get in there. And then don't forget about this. And I think I kind of did forget about it. But the defense team put out some information on Ron Logan about how he kind of rebuilt his bathroom. Let's see. Did I grab Ron's folder? No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. Here, actually, let me go ahead and play you the rest of this video. And I'll show you these images. Okay, so this is the interesting thing that I'm trying to kind of point out here with the box cutter. So a very vital pathway for the majority of your blood, right? The carotid artery, which if severed, you could die within a minute or two. It's very shallow. It's got a protective shell around it. It does make it tougher to get to, but with the box cutter, that depth is actually perfect for that. So when people are thinking about the box cutter, they're thinking like, why would you take a box cutter into battle? Like you've planned it out, right? This is definitely something that they did for a reason. And I don't know. Could it have something to do with the blood? Could it have something to do with it wasn't planned? They panicked, maybe. Maybe they were trying to get the girls over there to Ron Logan's, right? They get them across the creek, and then here comes the van. Then they try to run back towards the van, and they're stopped. And then all their plans are foiled, or something along those lines. Yeah, CJK serrated box cutters are a thing, but the blades are more expensive, and it's not necessary. There's really no reason for it, unless you're just fancy, or you need a specific design on the cut. Wow, it's exotic. CJK misunderstood. Here we go. Okay, so here, did you hear what he said? Let me run that back, and then I'm going to show you the experiment that I did right before this video. Listen to what he says about the wounds and how it's kind of like an on and off type of serration. He's like, well, it's serrated here, it's kind of bunched up here, and then it's not here. And then I'm going to show you why that happened. And I think it could have been a eureka type moment, but some people question like maybe he's part of the beast. But listen to this. Yeah, he did in the trial, right? He had to give his testimony, and this is what he said right here. It's kind of like it appeared serrated, but it wasn't like an even pattern. A serrated blade, it's going to be even. It's going to kind of be duplicated throughout. This was more jagged and appeared serrated. So let's try this. Oh, you guys can't hear me? What the hell? Here, let me try this. Thanks for telling me. All right, can you guys hear me now? Oh, not the video? Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Well, that's important. So let me go back. Maybe I shared the screen but didn't share the audio. So thank you, Exotic, and thank you, All Violets. It's very important that you guys tell me that for the sake of the stream, anyway.
Before we even take the bodies out of the refrigerated storage,
Can you guys
I
hear
will
that?
ask for kind of a brief synopsis from the investigators to try to get a feel from where we're going. And then we kind of just get into it. And the body bag is opened. We photograph in the bag. We make note of clothing, stab or incised, deep, great details in terms of,
Okay, thank you.
Just we're going to be talking in
All right, listen to
generalities
this.
here.
Of course.
But one of the young ladies had a single sharp force injury to her neck, whereas the other had multiples. And again, these wounds didn't fit what I normally see in the multiple sharp force injuries I've seen over my career. Stab wounds tend to be deep, but not necessarily long, whereas incised wounds are more slashing sort of things that are not necessarily very deep. And these were kind of neither fish nor fowl in that regard. They were kind of a mixed bag.
I was wondering also, did the defense try to
Thank you, Vicky.
discredit you when you were on the stand, or was it more of a fact?
Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and play my video. I think this is it right here. I literally made this like right before we went live. Okay, now it's this type of box cutter that is common at CVS. When I worked at Walgreens, I used to just hand those out, especially during truck days. Okay, now 2 centimeters deep is basically 3/4 of an inch. That's exactly what we have here, and that's why I had the carotid artery stuff up. Let me see if I can find that again. Because it shows the depth that is needed to actually get to the artery that was severed on both of these young girls that day. Watch, look at this. And I kind of put the length of the blade, which is 1 inch right here. More than enough needed to hit that artery, which it did. So the pathologist couldn't understand how a blade could be that shallow, but leave these serrated markings, but not serrated, not serrated, but also what looked like handle bruising from the handle of the knife being kind of pressed against the outside skin. Well, let's continue on with this here. So what I did is I took some tape, wrapped it around, one of those pool noodles that just happens to be almost that exact same depth, a little shy of an inch. So I want to prove that not only can the box cutter get through that depth, but it will also leave the markings that Dr. Core is referring to. And it kind of tripped me out. So take a look. I should probably turn that down. I was listening to boxing earlier. They might copyright strike me. So the depth of the noodle, just about an inch, give or take, right? Now, I use the tape to kind of act like skin, right? If you feel your neck, you kind of feel like the outer layer of your skin is kind of thick. But underneath, if you were to cut your skin, underneath it's going to be soft. and can tear and cut easily. But your skin's a little bit tougher. So if you use a box cutter in that manner, it's going to bunch up the outside skin while cutting the lower layers like butter. And watch this. Watch the results here. Very interesting. And I'm just cutting, not doing anything special. So here, right here, it reached an inch right there in the center. And exactly what the doctor was referring to, like this bunching up where it's serrated, weird markings on the edge, but then it's not. And then lower on the cut or on another cut, it'll do it again. Kind of like Morse code, on and off, on and off. That's exactly what happened here with my little test. See up here, anytime that there's a lot of pressure with the box cutter, like you're trying to get deep with the cut, and then you're pulling down on it, it starts to bunch up this top level while easily cutting the layer underneath, leaving those exact markings that he was describing. See that? So I'm going to actually take the tape off and put it on this little piece of paper right now to kind of give you a better look. Because that's what's going to happen. The cut is going to open up much more than this, but it's going to be way more pronounced. So you can kind of get an idea why he was so perplexed. Like right here, it looks serrated. You're like, what the hell is causing these markings on the edge, right? This like checker mark. See it as it continues down here? But then it's like a smooth cut here. That's because the blade went deeper in these areas that cause those like handle marks, those checkered handle marks. It's very strange, but it's only going to be a box cutter like this that does that because it's got a really jagged edge or sharp edge. See, so you're looking at this area and you're going, wow, that looks serrated. But it's not. So here, I think I have another photograph that might help. Same thing, but I wanted to show you guys all the tools that I used to do it, and I didn't do that before. But same thing here. This weird checkered mark on the outer layer, which is also creating what appears to be a serrated blade, but not, because if it was a serrated blade, it would be more of a pattern. This is just kind of all over the place. So that's exactly what he was describing. So to me, it was a box cutter, right, that was responsible for these murders. That's information that Reese Davis had. He had that in 2017. So I think that gives a little bit of, I guess, credence to what he said about Ron Logan, Richard Allen, and the Kleins being connected. All right, let's see where we're at here. Oh, shit, we're already at an hour. Fuck. I'm running out of time here, guys. Let's see. Reese Davis claims that Kagan and TK were operating an underground CSAM business and an old classified site Backpage. They allegedly sold burner phones loaded with catfish profiles and illicit material. Both Richard Allen and Ron Logan became their customers. According to Reese Davis, Ron Logan and Richard Allen were customers of Kagan Klein. Let's see. I'm going to have to fucking machine gun all this stuff at you guys. Sorry. I thought I had more time. But I don't. Let's get a look at this video. Well, it's not a video. It's a screenshot of a video that Fix Solves put out. This is around like 11:59, 11:50-ish, almost 12 noon. And it's Ron Logan dumping like an entire truck full of trash that he was cleaning up. So what is he cleaning up for? Why is he purchasing fish? Why is he confessing to murder? He went to Lafayette. According to Keegan Klein, that's where they went and dumped all of their evidence. Was he expecting company? And was somebody protecting him? The beast. Did the beast protect him? Giving him just enough time to get rid of evidence. Right, let's take a look at this. I think these are screenshots from R&M YouTube channel. I think they were handed these photos from Disarray. It's all messy in the hallway. This is Ron Logan's home, by the way. I think these were photographs taken during the search warrant. Messy, messy. Missing a fucking wall here. Right? This is some serious demo. Got the shower pipes exposed right here. Right? Everything looks crazy. Wow. But what about in here? Shit is pristine. Just enough time to rip out the pipes. And I don't know. Is this where they all cleaned up maybe? They all took a shower. Tried to get cleaned up. At least him, right? If I showed you this photo after showing you this photo, would you guess it's in the same home? Or better yet, this one? Or this one? And can we even believe somebody like Reese Davis? So this is from the Innocence Project. Jailhouse informants are people in prison incentivized to testify against a defendant in exchange for a benefit. Their false testimony has led to countless wrongful convictions. 17% of 121 death row exonerations involve jailhouse informants. Informants, there's really no. Looks like this shit's glitching out. Actually, guys, we're going to have to do a part 3 on this one. So we got basically through, almost through page 1. So I think I'm going to hit this one early in the morning. But I got to run and take care of something right now. No big deal. The short sheriff that looks like a troll. Are you talking about Tobe? Always made my mind wonder. Yeah, because the bridge guy looks short. But then again, Ron Logan's not really that tall. A lot of people think he's really tall. He's only really like 6 foot. 6'1". I mean, for me, that's tall because I'm a short guy. But even Kagan Klein, he's not tall, right? He said that potentially he could be the bridge guy. Like, it doesn't matter who the bridge guy is. He had Rick's gun. Why did he have Rick's gun? That's why it doesn't matter if Rick says, yes, that is him, or even if it is him. All they know is that he is part of this, right? They know he's connected. All right, we'll give the chat about 5 minutes to kind of catch up and ask some follow-up questions if you want, and then we're going to bounce. Yeah, we still have a lot to go over. See some of the stuff that I have here. We still got to talk about Robert Ives. We're going to look at some of Richard Allen's interview, some of the quick clips on that. Bill Labredo and what he had to say about the Odinism stuff. We're going to talk about some of the mysterious deaths, right? A lot of self-inflicted wounds. For instance, Delphi police officer dies from self-inflicted injury. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. This is a very sad story. Then we have Mr. Fortson. I mean, did he work at Grissom at all? I think he might have, I don't know, he angered the beast for whatever reason, or caused a problem for the beast. Yeah, we need to talk about those deaths. The mysterious death of Amber N. Bowles. We don't talk about this one. She was the person that worked at the Marathon gas station from 2016 and all the way to 2018. She died mysteriously at 4 a.m. Wonder what really happened. What else we got? Oh, yeah, Michael Peasley. Right? He's not part of the gang. He's not part of the group. This is the ecosystem operating under the dome that's impenetrable to federal agencies. They got the boot. Sorry, man, you got to go. We're operating on our time. See what else we got. Joe Sandifer and the Pizza King in Flora. The hell's going on with that? And a witness that was deposed by Richard Allen's defense team talking about Abby working at the Pizza King. Some people think that Flora could be connected to Delphi. I haven't seen a connection, but it could be. What about Haas? You guys know that guy? James Haas? So James Haas is a bad guy, a very bad guy. Committed murder. He was locked up in prison. Somebody shot his dog and burned down his house to get at him. Like, these are the kind of people that we're dealing with here. And these people are all expendable. Just like Ron, Rick, and the Kleins were. And they probably looked at Abby and Libby as, throwaway people. A lot of law enforcement agencies treat people that come from troubled backgrounds, families that suffer from drug addiction. Maybe they felt like they were expendable too. I mean, think about it. You got the McClellans and the McCains trying to acquire the CPS building. What is the CPS building known for? Troubled families and vulnerable youth. What do pedophiles specialize in? Vulnerability. What do killers specialize in is vulnerability. They're not trying to go get their jollies off and then, get their ass kicked. They want to do all the kicking. Thank you, guys. Big shout out to Wife Lilith for sponsoring the live stream. CJK, Jari, Exotic, Redfoot, She Warrior. What's up, Frank? Who am I missing? Misunderstood. Welcome in. All Violets. Fishy. And everybody else. Harvey, what's up? It's always good to see you, my friend. Return the Diamonds. How the hell did I miss you? Well, that sucks. Don Spain, Mills, Frederica. All right, guys. I guess we're going to catch you on a part 3. Shout out to wife Lilith. Once again, very generous. Moneybags is in the building. And let's send them out with the track that Cheeks put together for us. Sorry. Tongue Twister. Here we go. Take care, guys. Merry Christmas.
Big brother trying to mess with my head. He whispers sweet nothing, things better left unsaid. We got our ears to the ground, our eyes wide open and keen. No gaslight, shadows gonna dim our screen. Cheeks, she don't play no games. She calls out all their fake claims. Slow intuition, we got that vision. No ad hominem allowed, just facts shouted loud. Slow intuition, we got that vision. No ad
Vic?
hominem allowed, just facts shouted
John?
loud. Trying to twist up the truth. They feeding us lies from our childhood youth. But Patrick, he leading the way with the flashlight bright, exposing the darkness and bringing the light. Smooth intuition, we got that vision. No ad hominem allowed, just facts shouted loud. Smooth intuition, we got that vision. No ad hominem allowed, just facts shouted loud. They try to divide us with their silly schemes. Break up our squad, break up all of our dreams. But we stick together, strong and true. Sleuth crew coming for you.